Here we go. Cartel Wives, chapter 34, the finale. Let's get it.
Afterward. Olivia. For the last 8 years, I've been hanging in the balance between my past and the future. In 2008, my life in Mexico was lavish. Now, I live a simple life. In the Witness Protection Program, Junior and I aren't sure what the future will hold, but we'll have each other and our kids, and that's all we really need.
If it was that simple, huh? If it was that simple, you can only wish it was that simple. It's not that simple, man. To think about the situation they're all in right now. After that, it has to end there. If not, it's like, what are we doing here? But to think this was written 2016, I guess, published in 2017, and just the hopes of a life of peace, and that has not been achieved as of yet.
Mia. In the past, life was about living and loving every moment. Now I spend a lot of time looking ahead and waiting. The last 8 years have been me waiting for my husband to call, to sign his plea agreement, or to be sentenced. Now we're waiting for Peter and Junior to be released, which will happen no later than 2021.
Olivia. In 2021, Benjamin and Bella will be finishing up middle school, and Blake will be about to start. Brendan will be thinking about getting his driver's license and starting to consider colleges. Even though he's just a little boy right now, he says he wants to go to Harvard. This doesn't surprise me or Junior. We tell him every day that we believe in him and that he can be whatever he wants to be.
And to all the parents on there, if you're hell-bent on your kid being a basketball player, but your kid wants to be an astronaut or a detective or a marketing analyst or whatever he want to be, support what he want to do. If you feed that kid could reach that shit. Your ass didn't make it to the NBA. Why would you expect it from a kid that don't want it? And that's just an example that I'm using. I just know that when I was a kid, I thought movies and TV was a million miles away. And it's not a million miles away. If you do the work, it's right there. You can reach out, you can touch it. So encourage your children. If they want to go to Harvard, then believe that. Because we put our limitations on them, and we're foul as shit for that.
What's come out of the last decade, though, is that he'll never know the drug trade because we've shielded him from that life.
Mia. Through sports, great schools that teach morals and ethics.
Is that a moral victory right there? That the chain has been snapped? That their kids won't have that life, won't live that life? It's over with right there. It went from the old man to the next generation and it ends there. It just shows that it's we ain't where we come from and we don't have to be where we come from.
And normal activities like playing Minecraft or going to the jump park on their birthdays. Olivia and I try to give our kids as much stability as possible. More than that, we want to show them they have options and choices their dads never had. When Peter and Junior were in elementary school, they were fishing marijuana out of gas tanks. And when they were in high school, they were setting up an illegal multi-million-dollar business. Drugs were all they'd ever known. We want our children to be normal kids and understand there's a whole other world out there.
Olivia. While we try to make their lives feel as stable and routine as the next kids, we don't want them to think that prison is a normal place. Sure, it's where Daddy lives now, but it won't be forever. But because Brandon is almost 10 and remembers a time when Junior lived with him, that's been hard. He understands that there was a before and after, and sometimes he struggles to reconcile the two. For example, 2 years ago, we visited Junior, like we do every week. We walked in and headed to the prison playroom, and while Brandon started playing with Legos, Junior, Benjamin, and I caught up. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Brandon building something that looked like an enclosed pen, and as he put a few plastic animals inside, he spoke up, looking a little embarrassed. "Daddy, look at what I made." "Is that a zoo?" "No, he whispered.
Visitation.
I can't tell you what it is. It's a swear word.
Hmm.
Junior was so reassuring. It's okay, baby. You can tell me. Brandon approached his dad and whispered in his ear. It's jail.
Yeah, that's
When
what
I
figured.
pulled myself together and
That's why I said visitation. I thought the man created the little visiting room, but yeah, he made a jail.
digested what he'd just said, I asked, where did you learn that word? From SpongeBob. I don't ever want you watching
SpongeBob. SpongeBob taught him about jail. What's SpongeBob talking about? I don't know nothing about no SpongeBob. What he on out there? Between SpongeBob making a special appearance and Sammy the Bull, we could expect anybody in this story.
SpongeBob again, I said, half in shock. But I should have known better. As much as I try to protect him and keep him in a bubble, he's not a naive little boy anymore. He's learning to accept reality and understand what makes his life different. This year, Junior talked to him about what prison is. I'm here because I made bad choices, Junior said, and I have to pay for my mistakes. But you, son, are going to learn from them and make better choices. You're a good boy with a big heart. You're super smart, and I know you'll make me proud and be someone great. Loving his dad unconditionally, Brandon won't disappoint him. I'm sure of it.
It's a lot. A lot for kids. There's a lot for kids. And again, they're not the only kids in these situations. A lot of kids in these kind of situations.
Mia. We can't lie to our children about the reality of their lives. When Bella and Blake are ready to ask why their dad is in prison, and I think they're old enough to understand it, I'll explain it to them as gently as possible. In fact, I've already had to. Last year, Bella told her friend that her dad lives in a cage. When her friend expressed concern, Bella came home and told me what she'd said. I thought about the situation and tried to explain what secrets were. Bella, I said, in our family, we don't keep secrets from each other. We try to tell each other everything. But family is family, and what goes on in our house and what goes on in our family has to be kept between us. Explaining this to my little girl was heartbreaking, but it was for her own safety. Now, when her friends ask what her dad does, she says, "Oh, he lives in another town." She doesn't feel like she's lying because, outside of our family, you don't have to tell everyone everything.
Olivia.
Confusion, a lot of confusion.
We can't dance around some issues with them, though. Mia and I have each moved more than 5 times in 8 years. And we have to be honest with our kids that we're getting a new house because Daddy is too. It hurts me that we have to keep putting our children through this, but luckily, they're used to change. So when we find them new schools, doctors, and sports teams, they view it as an adventure. They're good at making friends, and seeing their dads every weekend makes them happy. In fact, they often think their dads are the nice ones since we're home every day, forcing them to clean their rooms and go to bed on time. Samantha and Sasha have been wonderful influences on my boys, and they're now in high school making straight A's. We have open communication with them, so they know everything, and they're learning every day from our experiences and the sacrifices we all made.
And at this point, like, they're children of the internet age, bruh. The days of lying to them, they just go holler at the Alexa or the this one or the that one. So you can't really hide shit from them. They're not going to believe us anymore. They're just going to go Google that shit.
Xavier is all grown up, and he's so close to the girls that they consider each other real brothers and sisters. Now that Junior's away, he's stepped in and become a second father to Brandon and Benjamin. I'm so blessed.
Mia. Bella and Blake are great kids. It's amazing how polite, happy, and well-mannered they are. The only complaint I have about them is that they fight with me because I don't let them use their iPads Monday through Thursday. Other than that, I can't say they've been really affected by all of this, except that they miss their dad.
Olivia. Living in fear is a curse. You can't sleep, and you jump out of bed at even the smallest noise. You constantly look out the window. You won't answer your doorbell if it rings, and you're so paranoid you're often sick to your stomach. You don't trust anyone, and you keep your conversations with your neighbors to a minimum. You avoid small talk because the last thing you want is for anyone to figure out who you are. Sometimes, you even keep your children from playing outside because you're afraid something could happen to them. Because I live in fear so much, I've suffered panic attacks that have made me feel like I'm about to die.
And it be some of them people out there in the park and shit, they be mad nosy, want too much information. Like, back up.
Mia. Luckily, though, writing this book has helped with that terror. Since we first started it, I've had many ups and downs and sometimes felt like I was reliving my nightmares. This book brought me to places I thought I'd left in the past and that I'd never have to think about again. Even though I've cried and felt anger, my choice to write this book was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. It brought back sweet memories with my husband that overshadowed the bad ones, and it allowed me to let go of negative emotions that I'd buried. With the help of this book, I've learned to live for today. I was guilty of wishing and hoping the years would fly by, until one day I saw both my children growing up right before my eyes. Now, I've learned to savor moments, despite my circumstances. I now realize I have more than I ever thought I'd have. A husband that I adore and love, and amazing children that give meaning to my life. I have everything a woman could ask for. I just had to go through a few dark times to make it to the light.
And got one more stretch of that to go.
Olivia. Through writing this book, I've learned that at times you have to look backward to move forward. I, like most people, don't want to live in the past. I want to put it far behind me, learn from it, and progress. Writing this book was the hardest thing I've ever done because it forced me to confront the fears and the shame I had about my past decisions. Reliving embarrassing moments was very hard on me, and at times, I felt like I didn't recognize who I once was. But I had to stay true to myself. In order to do so, I had to be completely transparent and brutally honest.
And that's what she said to y'all when she came to talk to us on the channel. You know, she said she's not the person that she was, and sometimes things are embarrassing to talk about, but it's her position and it's what she chose to do, and she chose to be transparent about it, and she's going to talk about it. You know, so expect to hear more from Val, expect to hear more from Viv. The story is nowhere near over.
I now believe that facing and dealing with my fears has prepared me to better face my future. Through my journey, I've learned about myself. I don't regret my life, and my past does not define me. Through my painful struggle, I've gained wisdom from many life lessons, and they've molded me into the person I am today. I'm now more resilient, a stronger woman, a better mother, and a more loving wife. In this journey of self, I realized what's important in life: my family. I grew up in a family who gave me unconditional love and showed me that family is everything. Despite coming from a good home, I made bad decisions and lost myself along the way. When Junior came into my life, he softened my heart and showed me how to love the right way. I showed him the true meaning of love and family. Not wanting to lose his family, he chose to change his life. He made the ultimate sacrifice for us, and because of it, our children will have a better future. When Junior comes home, my life will come full circle, and we'll give our children the simplicity of love and family. In the end, I'm optimistic that one day, when our children read this book, It will help them understand and appreciate Junior and me. I hope that the decisions and sacrifices that we made will one day be reflected in our children, and that we'll be able to give them a life far different than the one we initially chose to live. Hopefully they'll understand that, through bad choices and good, we had the courage and the love to change our lives and make things right. Junior and I want more than anything for them to grow up to be better people than we've been. We want to see them go to college, get their degrees, and make the world a better place. And if all goes right, one day, they'll understand that everything we went through was for them. January 2017.
If you ask me, the crux of it has always been, okay, yes, people want to change and people want to live better lives and this, that, the other. I miss me with that. At the end of the day, the crux of it all was, this is my family. And what am I going to do for my family? Whatever it is, the that I got to do for my family. To me, that was the crux of the whole story, beginning to end. This is my family. What am I going to do? Whatever it is, the that I have to do for my family, period. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. That's how it comes off for me. And I can't argue with it.